Okay, good morning to everyone. To this quick session here, basically, what we'll talk about two fundamental functions that we'll talk about. One is the count function and all the variations of the count function and the sum function and all the variation of sum function. Now, count numbers. Suppose these are the numbers, and we are going to count how many numbers are there. The basic function that we have is I type count, you know, then I select the whole range and I press enter. I get the count. Now, if you incidentally delete some data from here, you see it doesn't count the blank cells in the range. Whatever range you give, it will only count the occupied cells and which is a number if it's a count function. Now, if I type A here, it won't count because the count function cannot count non-numeric. Now, that means we have a problem. That means if we have a series like this, count function will not be able to count. Right? Now, if I select everything, I press enter, it is saying 0. That means we do need a alternative function. So, count if some values or all the values are non-numeric, we have a function called counter function. Right? So, with the help of counter function, you can calculate the non-numeric values. And the beauty of this is it can calculate numeric and non-numeric values both. Right. Now, suppose we have a huge database and we have to see, data, and we have to see if there is any blank cells in the range. Sometimes maybe manually or visually it may be possible if the number is around, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. So we have a counter function called count blank, basically counts only the blank cells. You see, one blank cell. Empty cell you can say also. You keep deleting it, it will count again. So primarily, what we have seen, we have a count function, it can count the numeric values. We have a count a function, which can calculate numeric, non-numeric both, doesn't really matter. And we have a count blank function, which normally calculates if there is any blank cell in the range that you have selected. All right. Now let us move on to some function we call a conditional count, which is called the count if function. Right. Now, count if function, what it does, it counts based on certain conditions. Suppose we have to count how many numbers are there which are more than 10. 10 or more than 10. Okay. Now, the numbers are lesser, so we can actually manually do it. But if the number is huge, we actually cannot manually do it. So, do a count if function. You type count if. Then see, as I always said, once you start the bracket, the palette appears. And that is one of the skills of Excel masters. They can read this palette. So first it is asking for the range. So I give the range. Then it is asking for the condition to give. Whatever criteria I want to give for the count. So I said it should be greater than equal to 10. Right? So it will only count the numbers which are greater than equal to 10. Alright, so you press enter, you see you are getting 2. So now if you make it 11, it will become 3. It will become 5, it will become. Alright, so one count is fine. And if we want to count the same, the less than equal to 10, only I make it less than equal to 10. Or less than 10, whatever you condition you want to give, it counts. And if you want to count how many numbers which are into 11 only, right? So what you can do, you do not give any greater than, less than, and etc. You simply under the bracket type 11. That means it implies that it is equal to 11 that you are trying to contact. You press enter, it is counting 2. Okay, let us move on to this one, which is called a. If I have more than one criteria choose, I want to count here. See, there are the certain colors are given, there are certain numbers are given. Now, if it is so that it is asking us to only count the green which is more than 10. So if this green is more than 10, this green is not more than 10, this green is more than 10. Okay, again I said numbers are small, you can do it by only looking at it. But if the number is bigger, so here more than one criteria I have to check. First criteria I have to check, is it green, and corresponding value we have to check, is it more than 10. So when it is more than one criteria, maybe two criteria, three criteria, the count if function will not suffice. In that case, we'll have to use something called count ifs function. S will add, that means we can now add more than criteria. So first it is asking for the criteria range 1. Now this is immaterial which sequence you choose it. So I choose maybe this criteria, range, and I give you the criteria as gray because I want to check gray. And for the corresponding values should be more than 10, I choose the second criteria and I give it as the condition earlier I gave more than 10. Right? Now see, it will calculate 2. Now if you make it 12, it will make it 3. If you make it green, it will make it 4. So we have count if function and we have count ifs function when there is more than one criteria. Alright, let us move on the sum function. Okay, this is the primarily the fundamental and basic function you call sum, that everybody knows. You simply type sum and you give the whole range, it will add on all the numbers. Alright. But if I want to do a conditional addition, just like I want to only calculate the rates, so here again I will put a conditional function. I will type sum if one condition I have to check. This numeric I will have to add, this condition I have to check. Remember this, although there are two ranges. So first it is asking for the range. So I give the range, then I give the criteria for the range. That is, in this case, I give it red. Sorry, I have to give it in small. I give it red. Then they ask for what to add. If the criteria is fulfilled, what to add? The sum range. So I give the sum range, and you see it will calculate only the reds. That is 20. It is, 10 plus 7 plus 3. Now, if I make this one red, it will also add it into the calculation. All right. Now, what if we have more than one criteria to check for? So, if I say only count those numbers which are, I can say, blue and red. All right. So, more than one criteria. So, when there is a more than one criteria, exactly like the count if, also we'll go to something called sum ifs. But in this case, first I'll have to give the sum range. This is the only change in sum ifs function we have. We don't go to the criteria directly. First we'll what to add will they, then we'll keep giving the criteria. So I give the first criteria, then I give range, then I give its criteria. In this case, I am giving it blue. Then I choose the second criteria and I give it red, and you see it will count it 70, 10 plus 7. All right. So we talked about count, count a, count blank, count if, count ifs. We talked about sum if, and sum ifs. Let us go to some practical implications of this one. So now, this is the data that has been given. This is the worksheet number 11 we are doing, that is uploaded in your worksheet so you can practice. So first it is asking to add all the cells. This is very simple. Now here one thing that I want to do to make my life easy, we rather than choosing the range every time, we want to give them a name. As we already discussed, naming the range, right? So first I choose this one. You can do without it and you can do with it also. Excuse me, you can choose the range, you cannot choose the range, that is give it a name, but giving it a name make it more professional. So I give it a range here. You see, I type name, I press enter. Now this can be, rather than choosing the range, I can simply, I can choose the range when I'm adding up, or I can only type name. Here I give it as product. All right, and here I give it as area, and here I give it as sales. So my writing the equation becomes easier if I name the range. If the range are fixed, definitely it's not dynamic. Now to add, you see what I'm talking about here is, now here actually normally if I have to add the sale, I'll have to type normal condition, I'll have to type sum, and I'll have to choose the range, normal condition, right? This gives this. But here, because I have already named them, alternatively what I can do is, I need not really bother about the range anymore because I have given it a name. So here I can simply type sum, and I can simply type sale. You see the sale has come. So you press enter, you get the sale. Now they are asking us to only and only to see the sale of the north. So it's a sum if function, right? So I type equal to sum if. Now sum if the criteria here, because north, so the criteria will be, if you look at the area will be the criteria, right? So I can choose the area or I can give its name. So I give area here. Now what is the criteria of the area? Definitely they are saying that it should be north, so I type north. Then want us to add the numbers. So I know I have already given the range name as a sale. I give it a sale, I close it, I press enter, I get the number. Same, I have to count the number in the boost. How many times boost has been sold? So I type here count if. Again, this time boost is in the excuse me, range of the product. So I choose the product. Okay, after choosing the product, only I'll have to give the criteria. That is boost. So I give the criteria, I press enter, you get the number, you can check. 1, 2, it cannot do a mistake definitely. 1, 2, and 3. Alright. Now I come to boost in sum. So obviously here I'll have to go for the sum ifs function. Boost in south, two criteria. Boost I will find in the product, south I will find in the areas. So here I type equal to sum ifs. First I give the sale because some range will have to given first. Then I give the first criteria as product. Product I know it should be boost. Alright. And next I choose the range as area. And area I give, I don't know which one now, it is blocked. So let me say it's south. Enter. So it is giving me the result. So that's how we'll do it. You know, the exercise. Hope you understood. So let us move on to the exercise number 2. Now this is again a very interesting, only a sum function that I'm talking about, without any ifs and etc. So it is asking for the total sale. Now see, here the problem is sales are given here, but it has been arranged in a different way. So if I try to do like this, if I type sum, and if I want to simply see, I can drag everything. So see, it is becoming a problem because these cells are merged, and if you want to add it, it will give you something very, very right. So this can do, but the better way of doing it is you type equal to sum. All right. Then you choose the first range, comma. Then you choose the second range, comma. Then you choose the third range, comma. then you choose the fourth range. All right, then you enter it, it is giving you the result. All right, the correct result it is giving you. Also, you can name this one as north, you can name this one as south, you can name this one as east, you can name this one as west. If you do it, your life becomes easy, right? How I'm saying it? So you type it here, you type it here, north. You see the north has come. You type it, you sub it. So if we have to calculate the sale of the north, simply I will give sum, and because I know I have to calculate north, I give north here. You see, it is coming like this. Or I could have done sum, I choose this. Then it is giving them all the same. But once you name the range, writing the equation becomes very easier. You need not actually every time look at the data and select the data. Now see, if I make it bigger, I really need not bother about the range anymore. They're asking for the sale of the south. I simply give sum and I give south, right? So the south cell has come, and here also I could have done is I type sum, then I give north, then I give east, then I give south, then I give west. Because I have already named them, so it is giving the result. Same way you can do for the east, same way you can do for the west. Alright, so finally let us go to the next exercise. Here it is given as the month, it is given as the salesperson, it is given as the region, it is given as the sale. Now what they want us to do is, I entered the name of the salesperson, I entered the name of the region, the total sales should come. So basically I'll have to use a sum ifs function. This criteria to be fulfilled, this criteria to be fulfilled. All right. So in this kind of condition, maybe I want to give user only this particular dashboard. All right. So if it has to be done, again I will see what I will do again. I have to deal with region and the salesperson. So I select the whole salesperson and I give it a name here as salesperson. Right. And I select the whole region, right, and give it a name as region. All right. Now here what I want to create two drop down lists so that you can select the name of the salesperson, select the name of the region, total sale will come. So first what I'll do, I select, because I need the unique values in this case. So I select the whole salesperson, right? I copy it somewhere, not in your visual distance. All right. Then I go to the data. Then I go to the remove duplicates and I remove all the duplicates. So you have only three names here and you can create a drop down here. Again, you come to the data, you come to the data validation, you choose the list and you select this particular list, you click it. Okay. Now what happens? You can choose a particular number. Same thing we do for the region. I select the whole region, right? I come here, maybe here, I paste it, I come to the data, I say remove duplicate, you remove duplicate. Right now here again I click on data, come to the data validation, choose the list, select the range, I click it OK, so I get a drop down. Alright, so that job is done. This I can hide these things so that this doesn't come in the visual range. I do not delete them, I hide them. Alright. Now see, I can only work on these things. I know salesperson criteria will come here, regions criteria will come here. Here I'll have to add. So I type equal to, okay, another range that I'll have to make, I'm sorry, is sale. So I make it here as sale. Right? I type already I made a sale, so I made a sale 1 in this case because earlier worksheet I made a sale. So I press an enter. Alright. Now here I type equal to sum ifs. After sum ifs, I'll have to give the sum range. So I give sale 1, right? Sale 1 as my things to add. Then the salesperson. So I choose the range salesperson. I choose the range salesperson. All right. Then I give the criteria. The salesperson criteria will come here. So I will only select this particular cell. That's it. Then I give region. So region comes. And the criteria of the region will come in this particular cell. So I select this particular cell. Now definitely it is coming as 0. Now the beauty is I choose a salesperson and I choose a distinct. You see, the result has come. Now I can see Sumit's everything. I go to the west, I go to the west, I go to the north, I get the north. Same with Sumit's. I change it to Kunal, I get all the data. Alright. The function that I have written is a sum function. So only with count and sum function, if we wish, we can create wonders. Hope you guys have understood it. Thank you.